I was perfectly happy with my flip phone cell service for 9 years, until I learned Verizon was retiring CDMA at the end of December 2019. So I decided to start looking. I was confused as to all the acronyms and noise, and after wading through it, decided I would make a video to help others. This is the Verizon double data deal for 35, well, it was 40 a month for 3 gigabytes. If you enroll in autopay, that's $5 off. So 35 a month, and double data will give you 6 gigabytes. And I thought that was pretty nice. So I started looking and trying to get a feel for what was going on, what CDMA is, and GSM, and LTE, and 4G, and 2G, and whatnot. So this kind of goes through all that. There are 4 major U.S. cell phone network companies: Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile. Verizon and Sprint, for their 3G or third generation network, use CDMA, or code division multiple access. AT&T and T-Mobile use GSM, or global system for mobile communications, for their 3G network. The cell phone network companies are going to 4G, or fourth generation systems, which is LTE, or long-term evolution. Let's talk about go through a brief history of the 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G services. 1G was voice only, or 2.4 kilobits per second. 2G was voice and data at 50 kilobits per second. All the data consisted of SMS, or short message service, 160 characters or less, and MMS, or multimedia message service. 3G was voice and data, video calling, and internet at 384 kilobits per second moving and 2 megabits per second stationary. 4G is data, which can get up to 100 megabits per second moving and 1 gigabyte per second stationary. Since all cell phone network companies are going to a LTE standard, won't any phone work on any network? Well, that depends. There are bands within the 4G spectrum that each company uses that are not the same. For example, a phone has to be compatible with at least one main band, and Verizon has a main band of 13 secondary bands of 2, 4, 5, and 66. Sprint, main band 25, secondary bands 26 and 41. AT&T, main band 12 and 17, secondary bands 2, 4, 5, 14, 29, 30, 66. And T-Mobile, their main band is 2, 4, 12, 71, with secondary bands 5 and 66. In addition, Verizon requires the phone to be able to use HD voice, or voice over LTE, i.e. everything digital. As I said, I was happy with my CDMA flip phone and LG Accolade, but Verizon came out in 2018 and said by the end of December 2019 there would be no more CDMA network, and anyone with a CDMA phone would have to upgrade. So I started looking. Chats with Verizon reps at different times resulted in different information. One chat implied I would have to upgrade my plan. Another chat implied I could keep my plan and just upgrade the phone. Around September, I started looking for a smartphone plan and a smartphone. Verizon was offering a prepaid double data deal with 5% off if on autopay. Middle of October, I ordered a Google Pixel 3a from Amazon that was $50 off. I also learned Verizon had delayed their CDMA retirement to the end of December 2020, but I went ahead anyway with a smartphone. End of October, I tried to add a line via the internet for the prepaid double data deal. That was using my existing line. I could not do that, so foolishly tried chat. That resulted in my existing plan being upgraded and given a link to add a new line that did not work. So the Verizon reps kind of didn't know any more than I did. I was finally able to get the double data deal by telling the web that I was not a Verizon customer and going that way with a BYOD or bring your own device. That resulted in a new phone number, which I did not care since I was getting too many wrong numbers lately on the flip phone. Had to wait 2 days for a SIM card, which worked. I will have to remove the old flip phone line. Now, one thing to look out for is the dollar per month shown on the web as you are going through getting that double data line are incorrect, but the dollar shown after you choose is correct. The dollars per month on the beginning Verizon page are correct. That's the first page that I showed you, so watch out for that. So far, I'm impressed with the little computer in my hand. Also way easier to send text messages, although there are some software glitches showing up on Android 10. The Pixel 3a is a phone that can go on any network. In addition, it can handle 3G, GSM, and CDMA frequencies. When I first got the 3A, it had an IMEI, or International Mobile Equipment Identity Number. When I put the SIM card in, it had changed to a MEID, or Mobile Equipment Identifier Number. Supposedly, a MEID number is for CDMA phones and IMEI for GSM phones. Now, one can dial *#06# to get the IMEI and other device info. That got me to wondering if the tower, which is 5 miles away and the only one for miles around, I live in rural America, was a 4G tower. I got the Google Play Store app, Phone Information. That app showed that the tower was indeed 4G, but I barely had any signal up at my house. When I went to town, it showed as LTE and it was fast when using speed test. When CDMA is retired, I will probably have 0 bars. Luckily, with voice over LTE, one can use Wi-Fi to call. And luckily, I have some decent fiber internet connections, so I should still be able to make calls and text, etc. There are some software glitches on the 3A that possibly could cause major heartburn and some that are an annoyance. The annoyance is when one closes all apps by selecting Close All. They can show back up when you swipe up to make sure that it actually happened, but they really are not there. The workaround is to start up Google Assistant, and it comes and goes on my phone. The major one is your PIN not unlocking the phone or going into a continuous boot loop. That requires a phone reset. If you are lucky, that will fix the problem. There are other possible things one can do before that, shown on a YouTube video. Here are the sources that I used for all this information. And I'll probably, I might link them down below too. Maybe not. But anyway, that gives you all the information that you will need to figure out what phone you want and how to deal with the various carriers.